There we go, I think. Right, Discord. Ah, okay. Since I'm alone, at least for the current time being. Anyways, well then, greetings to everyone who is watching and all that. So for this creators roundtable, I'm gonna be sort of alone with DJ. So that's pretty much sort of the unfortunate circumstances and other things, but this is what it is. Unfortunately, couldn't get others to join, or others had their own things to take care of and that stuff. So yeah, today is gonna be just me and DJ talking about things, and oh, maybe we might get someone else, but that's unconfirmed right now. So who knows? In the meantime, well, what I'm gonna be doing is just gathering some materials for my second account, because yeah, that's a thing, and we're gonna just talk about different things. But I'll of course explain that once we actually get DJ here as well. Yeah. In the meantime, hopefully everyone's having done the Friday. All that stuff, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, it has soap basically. So right, yoink, and off we go further on. Let's see. So Dove's Hope. As you can read right there, Dove's Hope, the station that has a planetary base that has a lot of materials found around it. So there you go. Honestly, okay. So to be honest, I actually wanted to make a proper intro and what else, but yeah, this essentially is a mess right now. Maybe I should have just let info starting soon. You know, screen hold for longer and what else, and then make it properly. Now, well, you know, mistakes, and remember, I'm not a proper broadcasting station and whatnot else, so you're gonna have to just sort of hang in there with me. Let's see. But speaking of the chats and whatnot else, so well, greetings then to everyone. Not gonna be naming anyone today exactly, but the topics, as I did make, oh, rather, as you can read on the, you know, stream.
Hi.
Yes. Finally. Okay, enough stalling for time. There we go.
I'm here. I apologize.
Right. So then, who wants to, or rather, do you want to introduce this thing, or should I?
Well, we're going to talk about free-to-pay and pay-to-play.
What?
And pay-to-pretty mechanics in Elite Dangerous.
Free to pay?
Free to pay? Well, free to pay is...
You said free to pay.
Did I? I meant
yes.
Free to play. Well, yeah, but you are also free to pay, I suppose.
Sure? I mean, yeah.
It's you know.
Oh well. Anyways, the topic is free to play and pay to play or premium type of model of the game or games. Probably I'm gonna talk about games in general, as I tend to do, because, well, you know, how much longer can you beat a dead horse?
Well, there are certain games I think you have to talk about when talking about.
Oh, definitely.
Like when particularly when talking about free to play and pay to win mechanics.
Yeah, that too.
Like, it's necessary to expand the conversation beyond Elite Dangerous, particularly because, let's be honest, Elite doesn't really have many sort of pay-to-play, well, pay-to-win, certainly. You know, that's not something that happens in Elite, is it? So you have to examine outside of that to see what the impact is. But, I mean, I think we should start with one thing where, really unusually, you and I agree on something.
To an extent, we definitely do. And all that stuff. But no, yeah, I do say, yeah. I mean, it's not that uncommon, to be frank. I mean, we do both consider that, you know, drinking blood probably, or eating human flesh probably is not the greatest thing, right? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, there we go. That's the great way to for having a common ground.
Is this our version of that Breakfast at Tiffany's song? It's like cannibalism. It's the one thing we've got where we agree that it's bad.
Not necessarily. We diverge already.
Another thing that we have in common that we agree on is that Yamiks and I are both of the opinion, and I'm really interested to see how both of our chats react and relate to this. We're both of the opinion that the base game of Elite Dangerous should go free to play.
So, well, I can, I guess, elaborate on this little.
Yeah, go for it. I'll let you.
Yeah. So, anyways, a while back and whatnot else, I did make a video on free to play and should Elite actually go free to play and whatnot else. And I did in that particular video. Well, maybe not in the best ways and whatnot else, depending, of course, whom do you ask. About my opinions and things, but I did explain my stance on whether or not it should go free to play, or what would be the implications of going free to play, and so on and so forth. And it was rather interesting to see both the forums, Reddits, and the comment section, of course. Oh, rather perplexed, and no, maybe not perplexed, but rather intrigued, perplexed, confused, angry. Insert another emotion and feeling and whatnot else, basically all sorts of things about the whole topic, and it turned into a rather interesting conversation, if not necessarily in the most coherent way. It was still a conversation in some way. So yeah, so it's one of those somewhat hot button issues whenever you mention it, especially in forums, that whenever you say, Elite should go free to play, or it shouldn't go free to play, and whatnot else, because X, Y, and Z, and well, okay, mostly arguments against it or for it are, they change, yes, they change from time to time, but of course, it's a thing, it's a rather old topic, so there are variations of it most of the time. So, speaking of that, actually, DJ, yeah, so that's a good segue. Why do you think that Elite should go free to play, as a base game at least?
So, in all honesty, there's several reasons I think Frontier should take the base game free to play. And it starts really simply with the demo. The demo for Elite Dangerous is not representative of the game anymore. It really isn't representative of the game anymore, and that's not a good thing. It's really not. Another part of this is quite simply the amount of money that Frontier make from the base game these days isn't very high. Yeah, the
considering
base game
that it usually goes on sale for, what was it the last time I saw?
£5.
Basically £5 or $7. Yeah.
That means that by sacrificing a very small slice of their revenue, they open up the game to a vast number of new people. Obviously, one of the things that leads to is further sales for their microtransactions. The pay to pretty aspect of Elite Dangerous is almost certainly, I don't know this for a fact, although I hope to find out in the near future. We're going to be interviewing the chap who runs monetization for Frontier, a guy called Chad Young. he's agreed to come on stream, and he was surprised that I thought people would actually be interested to hear what he has to say.
Oh, I'm very interested to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, it's thoroughly interesting.
But then again, I'm a cynical cunt, so...
Yeah, you and I don't exactly agree on the pay-to-pretty thing. I've had some really interesting discussions with FDev about that. One of because quickly segueing into the pay-to-pretty side of things, I would argue that at first Frontier got it very, very wrong. The pricing on the Frontier store originally for skins, when I bought a skin for £10, a single skin, and I paid £10 for it.
Oh wow, really? Was it that bad? That's the thing. I don't remember it. I remember buying the game and I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna play and enjoy it, which I did. So yeah. Okay.
And so when it started out, yes, £10 for a skin. Most skins were between £5 and £10. £5 to £10 for a skin is way too expensive.
It's ludicrous. It's not a microtransaction anymore.
Yeah, right. Now, whereas now, you're paying like £3 for skins.
Well, depends what.
But
there are
between,
collection of 6 or a single skin.
The single high quality ones, essentially. Yeah. That's fine. I'm completely cool with that. I have to acknowledge this. I apologise. So everyone, we're in a creators roundtable, so we don't normally sort of acknowledge the things that go on in chat, but I did just get raided by Bognogus for like over 100 people. So hi everybody, Yamiks and I are talking about pay-to-play and free-to-play and pay-to-pretty and all of that sort of thing in Elite Dangerous. So that's the conversation that's going on at the moment. Right, back to the game. Sorry about that. We're in a situation now where I would argue Frontier almost certainly make more money from that than they do selling the game. Yeah, in fact, I know that's true.
Yeah,
I know that's true. Yeah,
it's pretty easy. Yeah, I have data on that as well. Pretty good data on that, even though there's not a lot of it. It's pretty decent indicator as to what's happening.
I know for a fact that they make more money through cosmetic transactions than they do through selling the game. Now, if you add in a whole raft of free players, then all of a sudden, great. You bring in a whole raft of new players who are potentially going to buy those microtransactions. Which, if that is your primary revenue generator, then from a business side of things, it makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, as a matter of fact, and honestly, it's kind of nice to start from the business side, because there are still pretty good, just common sort of a logic or game-related reasons as to why they go free to play too.
But I think
the business one is a good one to start with.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to start the thing, because if it didn't make sense from a business point of view for Frontier, then it's not something they're going to consider, right?
Of course not.
But
of course not. I mean, why would they?
Exactly. They are a business at the end of the day. They have to make money, right? And the honest truth is that we're gonna, if we're sitting there and we're discussing this, if it does make sense for Frontier, then great, wicked, do it. Yeah. Now, what would it do to us, the players? Yeah, because there would be a huge impact on us as players if Elite Dangerous went free to play. There is no doubt about that. The primary impact, of course, would be that initial rush of players. Now, the vast majority of that initial rush of players are not going to become long-term Elite Dangerous players. Yep.
Definitely, the gameplay itself already proves that, even for paid players.
Yeah, it's not a game that is for everyone, and it's never going to be a game that's going to be for everyone.
No.
If they tried to turn Elite into a game for everyone, it would.
I mean, it's a grind fest. Not that there's a big portion of folks that don't like grind fests, obviously.
I would argue that there's far worse grind fests out there, and
there
far worse grind fests that
but
actually. have bigger player bases. Let's
okay,
be
so
honest.
just because somebody else has bigger
No,
cancer doesn't mean that, you know, your cancer doesn't matter.
Well, yeah.
So,
no, what
say.
I meant by that is that I don't think grinding is Elite's biggest issue. Like, don't get me wrong,
in
it
my
is an
eyes,
issue. I'm certainly not arguing that
gameplay
it's not an
issue-wise, it is. To me, it is.
Again, this is where, you know, just different priorities, right?
I suppose.
I'm more concerned about the way they get the story across than I am about the grinding. Yeah, that bothers me more than the grind in Elite. Part of that is because of the way I choose to play. I try not to grind. Basically, if I don't want to do something, I won't do it. I'll just go and do something else. That's how I play Elite, and always have done. And so because of that, it's kind of a non-issue for me. But again, that doesn't mean that I can't see that it's not an issue for other people. I'm not blind to that in any way, shape, or form. The truth is, though, whilst you would get that initial rush of people who aren't going to stick around in Elite because it isn't going to be the game for them, you will get a certain percentage of players that will hang around. Yeah, that's a matter of fact.
That otherwise wouldn't. That otherwise would not ever consider.
Yep.
Because, alright, let me tell you a story about how young and bright-eyed Yamiks played games back in them peasant days when he had Intel Celeron, a single-core CPU processor thingamajig, and a shit-ass graphics card. So, he obviously really didn't had monies. He didn't really had online monies. He couldn't really do them paid games. And no one was really willing to buy that stuff. So, what he had left with his little playlist, there was Yar Har, and of course free-to-play games. So free-to-play games took him quite, well, not took him by storm, but well, at least just grabbed him quite tightly, especially Team Fortress, especially Planet fucking Side and Tribes of Sand.
Yeah.
And here I go talking about these models, because it might, again, for perhaps a younger player that doesn't really have the funds or ability to buy the game, yeah, there would be definitely a lot of people that would try the game just because it's free to play. You can install it and forget it if you don't like it, and that the same thing really goes with everyone else, be you a younger generation or not. And considering that in free-to-play market right now, really there, of course, are wonderful games. You know, let's name, I don't know, Warframe, right, would be one of the bigger ones. Of course, Fortnite, the biggest one currently.
Star Trek Online.
Yeah, Team Fortress 2 is still going, and as a matter of fact, Team Fortress 2 is one of those things that actually went free to play, and yeah, and to this day it's probably the most successful free to play game, at least in my mind, that, you know, was first paid and then just opened the floodgates to them normies. And even to this day, funny thing is, I still see in many servers just people whining about those free-to-play players. Man, what are you doing? Just get good and play stuff, or learn to play and whatnot else, which is ridiculous. But regardless,
the idea of free-to-play weekends has come up in chat in my chat.
Ah, I see. That's a good one.
I do like that. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good idea, but I really do believe that it wouldn't have the same long-term impact that the game going free-to-play, the base game going free-to-play would. And part of that is just, let's be honest, how many people right now are playing No Man's Sky? How many people right now are, like, have gotten engrossed in that game? From outside the community. Again,
because the game just got an update, a lot of people, but before the update,
nobody, right? No, and part of that is because No Man's Sky is finally living up to its potential. That's a big part of that. But ignoring that, what that does show is that there is an audience for this style of game. Yeah.
There's audience for every type of thing, of course, if it's just one person, so, but yeah.
And let's be honest, if Elite Dangerous went free, the base game of Elite went free to play, good God, look at what, like, can you imagine what would happen to the number of people who would be streaming the game, who would be playing the game, creating content on YouTube? Even for that, you know, okay, yes, you get that initial short burst.
You always get that initial
Yeah.
burst for the, let's see, when the new update comes out, usually it's about 3 weeks, at least for the last 2 updates, it was usually just 3 weeks of constant influx of new people, just coming in, playing and trying new things. After that, the influx is ended and everyone's just back to normal. When it comes down to free-to-play, I honestly, coming from Evolve, which is another game that went free-to-play, by the way, you see a month, unless the developers actually go and fuck it deeply. It might be 2-3 months of constant influx, and of course, if the game is good, there will be a lot more people playing, regardless at the end of that influx.
Now, something else that's just come up in my chat that's a really good point. The other thing that does have to be said with this is there is one thing Frontier would have to do alongside allowing the base game to go free to play, and that would be upping the size of their customer support department, which isn't going to be a cheap thing.
Oh boy, customer support already is magnificent for Elite Dangerous, and
yeah, they would have to increase the size of them. There's no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, poor QA team, probably most of them will be forced to work as slaves, in, at least for the first couple of months in the tech support there. Yeah, poor guys. Poor QA guys. Oh well.
But I genuinely believe the idea that of bringing that number of new players into the game is only going to be something that would benefit Elite in the long term.
Oh,
and I keep doing this, I apologise, but people keep bringing up good points. What kind of compensation would they give to players who have bought Elite Dangerous?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
To give some sort, again, DJ, you're gonna continue. I'm just gonna give examples here. So Team Fortress. What Team Fortress did was, it was cost so much down that by the end of it, the free accounts essentially got limited space in their inventory for items that, you know, get dropped, and or rather not dropped, but randomly just given to you as you play. Every hour and a half you got one item, or was it half an hour? I don't remember. But in any case, you got limited, you know, inventory, so that's that. Also, you couldn't trade if you didn't have premium accounts, back then at least. These days you just need to spend something on your Steam account and then you can trade, but regardless. Yeah. Oh wait, no, Team Fortress, you still can't trade if you don't spend like $5 on, you know, something in the game, so there's that.
I would be really simple about it. I'd be really simple about it. I would give us a set of Lego, like, you know, they did the Black Friday skins?
Yes.
Yeah, you do that.
And Team Fortress, as a matter of fact, did something similar. They just gave also the full account abilities immediately to those that had it purchased, and of course a unique item, a hat. Obviously, it's a hat dress. I mean, come on, what the fuck did you else expect from it, right? So that's what Team Fortress did, and honestly, now that I think of it, Elite has. Again, DJ, stop me if I rant on, but yeah, okay. Elite is fucked. When was it released? 2013? 15. Okay, so it's 3 years old. Team Fortress was close to that age when it went free to play, if I remember correctly. So yeah, and for 4 years being up there, yeah, you start to feel the age of the product or the game. Also need to innovate, but unfortunately there's another point that I'll probably bring out later, but that's for later, I suppose, about the age.
Yeah, and
It's been so long, it's been so old, and it's been cost down so much. Why are you not angry about the fact that you can buy Elite Dangerous for $7, right?
Yeah.
Why are you not angry about that? Because I spent on this fucking thing 50 quid back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, I did that.
And then I bought Horizons at full price as well.
I probably didn't do that, so, but regardless, again, the same thing is, right? If someone like I, you know, just enjoys or had enjoyed the game and now really suddenly would see, the game is free to play, what would I do? I would tell my fucking friends to come and play.
Yeah, right. Give it a try. It might not be for you, but give it a try. It's so much easier to convince someone to give something a spin when it's free. Even compared to £5. Even compared to £5, right? It's so cheap. And yet even with that, it's not enough. Make it free, and yeah, people will download it and try it. Now here, I'll go on a little rant. If you look at a game that has succeeded by going free to play, and I think that the model that they used isn't something that really works with Elite. I think that they would have to follow closer to the Guild Wars model than what I'm talking about. But Star Trek Online.
I haven't played it, so I can't say much about it.
To give you a brief overview, it was a dead MMO. Yeah, it launched. It was a subscription-based MMO. It didn't work. Yeah, it was dead. The game was losing money. They were fucked. They went free to play, and it's something like 7-8 years later now, and the game's still releasing content regularly, still updating. Yeah. And their free-to-play model is very good. Basically, aside from some things for people who had the lifetime subscriptions before the game went free-to-play, aside from those, a couple of unique bonuses available to those people. Anything in the game is available if you're willing to put the time in. Obviously, you can pay to shortcut, but everything is available.
Isn't that pay to win?
I don't buy that because it's, whilst the amount of time you need to spend is a decent chunk of time, it's not an unrealistic one, yeah? And there is no barrier stopping a free-to-play player from completely catching up. Also, there comes a point, I would argue, when a game, especially when it is giving you the option of giving the option of everything for free, then you have the ability to, like, if you have the ability to pay for it, I'm kind of alright with that. Yeah? Especially with a game like Star Trek Online, where, realistically, by the time it is actually, like, alright, you either need to put some grind in now or pony up for a paid ship, by that point, you've got well over 100 hours of gameplay in the game. Yeah? And if you've had over 100 hours of gameplay from something and it's cost you nothing, yeah, alright. You either, like, at that point, I'm okay with the game being like, alright, either grind or pay. Yeah? In your chat, someone said about the lockboxes. This is the side of Star Trek Online that A, wouldn't work with Elite Dangerous, and B, is bad. Yeah? Most of Star Trek Online's model for free-to-play is brilliant. The one thing that isn't is their use of lockboxes. The only reason
that's wonderful. Fuck them.
the only reason they get away with it is because they were clever enough to have a player market. Yeah, and you can buy the lockbox keys off of the store and then sell them on the player market for the in-game, like the free in-game currency.
As a matter of fact, Team Fortress actually has the same thing.
Yep.
Actually, I back in the day traded quite a bit in Team Fortress and managed to get out, let's see, the Counter-Strike game, let's see, what else did I manage, Crisis 2, Ares mods, and so on and so forth. So yeah, the trading actually allowed, because of the Steam integration, but there's that.
And I have to admit, I personally made a lot of money off of that in Star Trek Online. Because I'd buy them when they were cheap, hoard them, and sell them when they were expensive.
Yes, the investor.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why not, right?
Sure, I mean, depends.
That paid for some of my top-end chips and some of my top-end equipment in that game, yeah?
I see, okie dokie.
And, like, but this is where, like, it's interesting because it's a great example of a game going free-to-play and doing really, really well. That wouldn't work with most things with Elite Dangerous. Yeah? Let's face it, the Elite Dangerous crowd, isn't going to accept the idea wouldn't accept the idea of lockboxes. And on the other side of that, I can promise you that David Braben would be sick in his mouth if somebody suggested that was something Frontier should do seriously.
David is a businessman, let's be honest, and
he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He is, but he is a businessman who thinks that the pay-to-win business model is fundamentally flawed.
And so the same thing was said from Chris Roberts' mouth, and let's see where that goes.
Yeah, one of these two men has a history of living up to what he says. One of them doesn't. just gonna put that out there, yeah. One of these men founded the Raspberry Pi Foundation. One of these men was the producer on Lord of War.
Hey, that was.
It was an okay film.
It was an okay movie, yes.
He also made Wing Commander, the movie. Try and defend that.
And there's that. Yeah, there you go. So there's that.
And to be honest with you, having spoken to Braben about this is.
I wish I had the chance. Damn, I didn't take my chance.
I'm lucky enough to have had conversations with him about this.
Like in Frontier Expo, I saw him, but it was during the whole announcement time, and I was like, shit, he's talking with someone else. So.
Yeah.
Well, there goes my chance. Well, at least I managed to talk with a couple of devs.
I'll try and introduce you this year. I'll do my best to introduce you this year. When Frontier, as long as they announce Expo, as long as the next Expo.
Come on, Frontier, you know what to do now.
Yeah, please tell us when it's gonna be. I need to make plans.
Americans especially. But anyways, back to the topic.
The truth is that like David Braben, when I have spoken to him, there is no way you could fake the genuine. Like, just distaste and dislike that he put across when talking about it. He's not an actor, yeah? The man is not an actor.
Some would say he is.
He's really
just
not,
saying.
Trust me. No, he's really not, trust me. And the honest truth is, it's not something he's fond of. He just doesn't like it. And I think that genuinely does just come from the fact that he thinks you can make more money without pissing people off. And in all honesty, the pay-to-pretty model they have, particularly now that they've altered the pricing to be fair, is just that. It's like, I mean, how many of us do spend the odd few quid here and there? Oh, I got a new ship. I've got to get a skin for it. Yeah? It is something that we do. It's basically what we have to look at is if they did go free to play, and they did give that base game away for free. Now, first of all, we're all making the assumption that would lead to a bump in sales for Horizons, which I genuinely believe it would.
It definitely would. Sure.
It would lead to a jump in sales.
I mean, it obviously does goes to say without doubt. I mean, if somebody enjoys the game that wouldn't otherwise enjoy the game, obviously, or rather, wouldn't even try the game because of the price their upfront cost, would be inclined to buy microtransactions. And let's be honest, one of those microtransactions, well, kinda is Horizons as well. After all, you buy it in the store. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's just how many of those would actually buy it? Yeah, that's a different question.
Maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 50, 1 in 100.
Who knows?
Something.
I know not
Yeah.
of statistics. I don't know
I
or see
tell
their
you.
stats, so yeah.
I also don't think it'd be possible to predict how many people that download the game for free would then convert. Like, I don't know if that's possible to predict. Now, another part that we've not discussed here is this isn't something that you should just do, I believe, on the PC, but on the consoles.
I mean, if you don't do it on consoles, then that leaves quite a bitter taste.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And if you're releasing it for free on the consoles, that's a different market for free-to-play games.
That too, yes. Yes.
And now, one of the interesting things I found out at E3 this year is that the console joysticks that Thrustmaster released have outsold all of the rest of their joysticks put together.
Really?
Really?
Okay, well, of course, that's not the only...
Thrustmaster have been totally taken aback by it.
I see. Okay, that's an interesting thing. Well,
like, they
enough.
were not expecting it. The chap from Thrustmaster admitted to me that the only reason they did it was because they saw that there obviously was a niche market because of the amount of people asking for it. Yeah?
And they are in the business of niche markets, let's be honest.
Let's be honest. Thrustmaster have made big bank out of doing that. Like, big bank. And if we're being honest, how many games on the Xbox and PS4 use the Thrustmaster, like, have HOTAS support? In all honesty,
there are a few. Definitely, there are a few. Definitely, one of them would
what
be.
What else is them?
There's Elite, of course, but there's also the War Thunder, if I believe.
Oh yes, I think War Thunder does. I think it does.
So War Thunder is definitely another one, and that has a lot of, following. So yeah. Let's see. There was one more playing game. I'm not sure if it's on something similar to War Thunder. Somebody in the chat probably knows. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's on PS4 or Xbox. But well, yeah, it certainly would give them immersion and all that stuff. So, the typical stuff.
Oh crap!
But yeah. See, but yeah, I mean, the console market is a rather interesting one that must not be underestimated.
No,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't expecting to find like that stat was going to be a true thing. But yeah, that they're selling a huge number of those HOTASes on the console, and the chap was very upfront about the fact that Elite is a huge part of that.
I see, yes.
Now, obviously, part of that is Thrustmaster have targeted that just right, yeah? They've made the HOTAS just the right price. It's about the same price as another controller for your console. And so
so it's relatively cheap. Huh,
yeah. It's about £50.
Oh wow, that's very cheap for a HOTAS, to be honest. For
Yeah,
a full
yeah,
HOTAS, not just a stick. So
yeah,
okay.
it's their cheap model. It was what I started playing Elite on. It's a perfectly serviceable HOTAS.
Funny thing is,
in fact, actually, for Elite, it's one of the throttle for it has one advantage over any other throttle I've used, which is that it actually has like a notch point in the center, and so it actually
I was about to say that.
Yep, it actually sits in the center, which makes it great for Elite because you actually have a full forward and a full reverse axis. And yeah, that's fantastic. That really is, and something that I'd like to see.
I still remember in Frontier Expo, I got the chance to touch both the PC Thruster Master version and the Xbox version. For PC, I loved the joystick. I really did like it, and
you can buy the Xbox version for PC.
Yeah, and the PS4 version just had that notch in the middle, and I enjoyed the thruster, part of it. And I was like, just combine them. They'd make for a really decent one. Come on.
Yeah, right. I want that, but made like my Warthog throttle. Please give me that, but made like my Warthog throttle, like the quality of my Warthog, but with that notch. Because seriously, for space sims, that's amazing. And I mean, while we're on the subject of peripherals, have you seen the Constellation stick that's being released by Virpil?
No. I don't follow the hottest stuff, so yeah. I'm a keyboard and mouse enthusiast.
Virpil have actually released a HOTAS aimed at space sims.
Okay.
1 second. I'm just checking to see if it's actually available now or if it's still I don't think it's available yet. They're still in like the prototyping. They're finalizing the prototype. I know recently they introduced they announced some changes that they were doing to it. Here you go. Here's a link. My chat. Yamiks' Twitch chat. Am I gonna get purged for saying putting a link in?
Yeah, I don't allow links anywhere, so toss me a link.
I was about to say, I'll just pass that to you in Discord then.
Yes, that's what you do.
Before getting purged. So there you go. There's a link to it. This is like they've designed this stick specifically for space sims, and I think specifically to be used as a dual stick, if I'm honest.
I see. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's a really, really nice stick. It really, really is. I
mean, other than looking like a dildo, that's all I know how to say.
Wow.
How to describe?
You
Really?
You have a very, very strange idea of what a dildo looks like, dude.
Have you seen Bad Dragon?
Yeah. Okay. Fair point. Oh my.
There we go.
So, but yeah, the honest truth is that markets like that. I mean, if you want to know the sort of cultural impact that Elite, Star Citizen, those two in particular have had over the last 5 years.
Even No Man's Sky, I definitely would include No Man's Sky in that as well.
Not in this discussion, and 1 second, I'll explain why.
Okay.
I'm talking particularly about peripheral sales. No Man's Sky doesn't support any kind of HOTAS or...
Oh god, yes, like that's the horror. It's barely remappable. It's fucking disgusting.
I know.
I'm surprised that they didn't actually update. I mean,
whenever I get into my shit, I go to grab my HOTAS and put my feet on my pedals, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still playing with the Xbox.
The thing is, to switch from first to third person, you have to use in-game context menu and press at least 3 fucking buttons.
True story.
Fuck, No Man's Sky, what the hell is wrong with you? Anyways.
I think that the truth is that the impact Elite has had was when Elite first released, and I know this for a fact because I tried to do it. If you went into, and this is speaking from the UK's perspective, I can only speak for that. If you went into a game store in the UK, as in, you know, a computer game shop, they did not sell HOTASes at all. Yeah, it was not a peripheral
really,
that
there
they
weren't
carried.
really that many, you know, games. I mean, there was the Microsoft Flight Simulator coming, like, what, 2007? Something like that? And then there were maybe a few other ones. War Thunder, I think it was out back then too, but the problem was with War Thunder, although we did use it, again, it was one of those niche things.
Yeah.
So...
And then Elite released, and now, if you walk into the same games store, they now sell
or rather carry those things, because not
yeah.
necessarily sell immediately, but they carry them.
This is an interesting thing. I spoke to them about it before I left the country. No, they were selling. Oh shit!
I see. Okay.
Hang on, sorry, I've had a video donated. I will replay this later.
I see.
Sorry,
Well,
I've got all my alerts. I've got all my alerts silenced, but the video is still played.
After all, today we are, streaming together. So for courtesy of the other person, we do not do these things.
Off.
But
we
do appreciate everything. Just to let you know. Anyways, moving on.
We really
quickly.
Do. So yeah, the fact is that they are selling them. Yeah. Those sticks are selling. Thrustmaster are the perfect example of this, yeah? Where those joysticks are their best-selling ones for the consoles. Yeah, that's a huge deal, right? And it shows that the market for Elite and games like it is huge. And I guess the crux of what I'm saying about going the base game going free-to-play is if you do that, it allows so many more people, right? Just so many more people to try it, to play it.
And yeah, the one thing that I've always sort of championed for Elite Dangerous was that don't need the fucking quotas to enjoy it. By default settings, keyboard and mouse is actually really good and really intuitive. That's the thing.
I think you have to change one setting, the pitch and roll. You have to change pitch and roll.
For me, no.
Oh, really? I had to.
I got mouse rolling, not yaw. So yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, really just the camera, super cruise button, and just basically the typical buttons that again you wouldn't find on normal places, I suppose. They definitely should be mapped here and there, but well. Yeah. Whatever, that's later, I suppose.
But yeah, the honest truth is that as you say, you don't need a HOTAS. You can, like, let's be honest. If we all added up the amount of money that our audiences and ourselves have spent on all of the things we have bought for Elite Dangerous, the skins, the peripherals, the extra equipment, all of that sort of stuff. Jesus,
it dwarfs the release price.
Base game.
Yeah, it easily dwarfs.
I mean Jesus
not
Christ,
for everyone.
I use a control system that cost nearly €1,000 for Pete's sake. Yeah, the cost of my control system dwarfs the game massively, and the fact that people, my control system isn't out of the ordinary. I don't have anything that special. Yeah, I have a Warthog and I have the MFG Crosswinds. I speak to a lot of people who have that exact setup. It is the top end sort of stuff, but it is a fairly standard setup, yeah? The fact that so many people are willing to go out and spend that much money.
And also have that much money or disposable cash.
Well, yeah. Shows quite an interest, for me, the biggest thing Elite suffers from is probably that there's no competition for it.
And that's a perfect segue. Yes, indeed.
Right?
So here comes basically my little rant on the whole competition part. So if you allow me, again, remember, feel free to stop me if you have something important.
No.
In any case,
yeah,
right. So Elite Dangerous, let's be honest, doesn't really have a competition as per se. I mean, sure. As of recent, yeah, No Man's Sky did come out, and a lot of people have been saying that, like, I don't know, Exegius, right? He made a video that, what is the title? Something like,
his really interesting one about how No Man's Sky's developers, like, embarrassed the...
how they embarrass Elite Dangerous. So basically, him, of course, and everyone else, even myself, said, well, I didn't really compare it to Elite Dangerous, since I really try to judge the game on its own merits, rather than comparing to someone else, but whatever. Now, the thing is, Elite Dangerous didn't have a proper competitor. Yes, you can say, Star Citizen was... but it's a different sort of a... It's a very weird outlier. But let's be just let's take a look at real competitors, be those older games or what else. Really, there wasn't space sim of modern age in 2000. Well, when was the real last space sim type of a game coming out since before Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen?
The X series, which was
X.
there. Yeah, the X.
Okay. When was that released?
Let's find out. The problem with the X series is that it's very like if you think Elite is hard to get into.
I see. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. If you think the like X3, yeah, if you think that that Elite is hard to get into, X3 was so obtuse.
Okay, so X Rebirth 2013, X 3, that would be something.
The original was called X3
2005.
Reunion. X3
2005.
Reunion. Yeah, 2005.
So that's 2005. When was the last thing? So basically, for almost
because after that you then had Terran Conflict and Albion Prelude.
Expansions, basically.
No sequels.
Huh?
Yeah,
for the love of gods.
Last one was on December 15th, 2011.
Okay, so X series. Well, that's a good one. But
Yeah,
then again, you don't
the
really
X
hear about
series-
X series that much, do you?
There were a certain percentage of us that did end up in that game whilst waiting for something like Elite to come out again.
Well, in any case, the point was, again, the competition when it comes down to space sim genre is very few and far between. It's just absolute desert. There's nothing. There's literally just no one making these games almost. So when it comes down, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Part of this.
No,
is,
go.
Did you see? It's one of my favourite videos to do with Star Citizen. There was a video Chris Roberts put out where he went into like a game publisher to talk about the idea of Star Citizen. And the game publisher was played by this little kid, and basically it was a damning indictment of why that kind of game doesn't exist, and that kind of game didn't exist purely put because the industry wasn't willing to fund that style of game. They didn't think that the sales
there are plenty of tales that've been told about such things. You know, Five Nights at Freddy's a good example, of course, and
the entire
let's see,
RTS
Dark Souls is a good example.
Well, the entire real-time strategy genre.
Not necessarily. Actually, real-time strategy boosted the PC gaming back in...
Recently, yes, but there was a long period of time where no one was releasing RTS games.
Oh yes.
Other than like the Total War series, that basically kept RTS alive, yeah? Other than that one series, okay, that was a lot more successful than the X series, which was doing the same thing for this genre, yeah? But other than that one game, that genre was dead. Turn-based strategy, other than the Civ series. How long was it just Civilization that was coming out of that? How long did it take to get another XCOM game, as an example? Yeah? Publishers just weren't willing to fund a game, and Frontier had the same problem. Do you know how long Frontier were trying to make Elite 4?
No.
Right, so the first time I heard of them actually working on Elite 4 was when Braben did an interview just after Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 released.
Year?
1 second.
Thereabouts. Just give me thereabouts.
Do you know what? I honestly don't know. So 1 second. Google Foo is good. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 wiki. 26th of October 2004.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, 2004. Oh, well, that's an interesting year.
Right. So he was talking about how the Cobra engine, as it was then, would allow them to do crowds. Like, he was really excited about the idea of crowds and the ability for a commander to be able to pull a weapon in the middle of a crowd of thousands of people and see what their reaction would be.
That's the good old tale that comes from the Kickstarter days, and oh my, yes.
Oh, well, no, this is long pre the Kickstarter days. He gave this interview in 2004, yeah? That's been Like, that's one of his long-term visions for the game. It's a bit like, you know, one of the things he really wants us to be able to do is big game hunting. That's another thing where he's like, I want us to do that one day. Which he's free to do. It's his game, right? And he's free to have dreams for it. Now, the honest truth is that meant that until they decided to self-publish this title, and they did end up having to self-publish it, no one would take a punt on the space sim genre. Look at the studios Frontier worked.
It's very niche, and understandably why.
Well, you say that. How many people back in the day played X-Wing and TIE Fighter and Wing Commander?
Right. Yeah.
Would you call those games... Now, those games were in a niche field. Gaming was PC gaming in particular was a much more niche thing than what we have now.
Consoles, yeah.
Yeah. Well, even console gaming was a niche thing back then. Yeah.
Okay.
It's far more ubiquitous now. But TIE Fighter, X-Wing, Wing Commander, those games were not small games at the time. Yeah, they were huge titles. They were big releases, and they were releases that a huge amount of us played and bought and went out and sought out. Yeah. Okay, they're not elite. Yeah. But they show that the genre is viable. And yet, for all those years, we got nothing. Just nothing. And that's what's led to the barren landscape we have now that you were talking about, where Frontier, as you say, just has
the
no
unfortunate
competition.
reality is first of all, to make something like a space sim these days, look at the competitors and whatnot else. It's just very hard to do, even though you have a lot of tools and a lot of free stuff to at least, you know, push off your costs on and whatnot else. But it's a lot of work, a lot of knowledge needs to be done, and especially fucking engine work. And well, let's be honest, these days no one wants to make a fucking engine. Fuck, if you ever told me, make an engine for me, I'll pay you exorbitant amounts of money, and I'll probably tell, no, why? I don't want to even try. Fuck no.
It's definitely one of Frontier's advantages, isn't it?
It certainly is. Having your own engine is definitely a massive help and a massive hindrance at the same time. Because, there's no real support. There's no real, established documentation. There's no real, advancements being done after everything is said and done, and just small little things are being put in place. And to once more delve into depths of that engine. Oh boy, I do admire Dav, one of the programmers in Frontier. He was actually, I think, first dev that I talked with in Frontier Expo, and I did ask him about many things about Elite and what else, how it's built and so on. But yeah, it's a massive bitch to deal with. So yeah, engine is necessary. Almost every fucking game requires basically its own unique engine if you go for a niche market, and when it comes down to it, well, there we go. Space sim unfortunately is a niche market and requires unique ways of generating, creating things and so on and so forth. So there we go. So
although it has to be said, one of the things that's genuinely impressive about the Cobra engine is just how many different things it can do.
Certainly. But anyways,
that's another advantage.
Yeah.
Sure.
But returning to the whole competition part of the
I
was about to do so, and then just DJ took off, and I was like,
sorry.
Okay, that sounds like fun. Let's continue, I guess. Anyways, so Elite doesn't really have competition about, or rather around it. So going free to play, what exactly would be the point, right? When you think about it, you're still earning money. You're still being profitable, and what else, really? There's no particular reason to go free to play when there's absolutely no competition. I mean, who'd you gonna go for? Star Citizen? Really? Are you that dense? Okay, well, go and spend your money there if you really want to and hope for a game. I'm just gonna sit here and rake in that microtransaction money, and of course game sales as well in the midst of it. And the same thing goes with No Man's Sky. Now, No Man's Sky is definitely kicking Elite in the ass quite a bit, but the problem is that No Man's Sky still costs quite a lot more. So there's still, you know, you're the cheapest and you're the most expensive, while having persistence as well, unlike No Man's Sky. So yeah, the online portion is a lot more vivid in Elite Dangerous, although it's a lot more buggier. But then again, have you seen the No Man's Sky? I mean, yeah.
I was about to say, I'm not
Its
sure.
online feature is a co-op, and that's all it is. In Elite, you have actual multiplayer. That's sort of the difference there too. So
No Man's
yeah,
Sky has definitely got its share of bugs.
oh, it has plenty of. But yeah, basically the biggest nail in the coffin of free-to-play is that there's no reason to go free-to-play for Elite. Why would you go, right? There's no competition, so why would you? You're still making money. You're making the most money, probably. Oh, kind of.
Yeah.
Right. So
the answer is that you would assume you'd make more money in the long run.
yeah, and when you actually have the competition, well, then you go free to play, because you know that's a good kick in the balls. Because at this point, you're just wasting, and that's just pure and simple.
It will be very difficult for Star Citizen if Star Citizen launches.
Oh, their launch gonna be butchered and uppercut by Elite if they go free to play.
Could you imagine?
I love to see that.
Could you imagine the salt if Frontier's reaction to them doing a release date was like, yeah, that's the day we go free to play.
Oh my, that'll be just glorious. Oh, we have this unique space sim game. Oh wait, we already have one, and for free? Why do I need to pay? Right?
Oh, it would be beautiful.
But,
I mean, the other thing about this that has to be said is, where will Elite be when the competition does actually release, right? I think No Man's Sky, whilst it's difficult to compare the games, it's undoubtedly a kick in the balls. It's a, you know, this is a moment that Frontier are gonna have to be like, okay, this is kind of competition.
Yeah, that's the only real competition right now, and I want Star Citizen to come out, not only because if they go bankrupt or whatnot else, they will fuck up the crowdfunding, but if we put that aside, and then I also want actually, back in the day when I pledged to Star Citizen, just to test things, and originally I wanted to just play it and make ship reviews for it, because, well, you know, I'm kind of running out of reviews for Elite, so why not? But yeah, I was shocked to see what I got for my money, so to speak. So yeah, there's, oh boy.
I think I mean, to be honest, my dream is that EA pull their fucking finger out. Yeah. That's where I want the competition to come from, because and this has got nothing to do with EA being EA, but EA have one license that could drive this genre mainstream, and one license that would allow them to create a direct competitor to Elite Dangerous that could be truly interesting, and that is Star Wars, obviously.
Oh yeah, the Star Wars thing, but now, yeah.
Could you imagine Star Wars Elite Dangerous?
No one's gonna trust EA to make another Star Wars game.
Right. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm talking hypothetical dream world here.
Let's say Activision suddenly decides, okay, we need Overwatch in space. We have Overwatch in space, but we need spaceships. Okay, let's make it.
See, now, in your chat, someone's mentioned that Bethesda are coming out with a space game. Starforge? No, not Starforge.
Starbound? No, that's a different one. There was something, I remember. DJ was actually quite hyped about it, I think. Yeah, I remember.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, and it is interesting to see Bethesda.
I mean, okay, if they make basically Skyrim in space, I'll be all over it.
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield.
To be honest with you, from what I'm hearing, it's going to be far more of a competitor to No Man's Sky than it is to Elite Dangerous.
Probably. I mean,
and
they are making it solo, so yeah.
Well,
I mean...
yeah, and it's also something that, from what I've seen, is going to be like, you know, from what Bethesda have said about it. Space flight isn't going to be a big deal. Yeah, you're going to have
the same thing as in No Man's Sky, so...
Yeah, you're going to have a spaceship. No, even less than that, I suspect. From what I can work out, you have a spaceship that takes you from planet to planet, and that's all it's good for.
Honestly, again, give me Skyrim in space, I'll be all over it. Because I love Skyrim. I don't like Fallout, so... Yeah.
See, now, the segue moment, because this is what is very interesting, is that Bethesda have taken a lot of hints and a lot of mechanics and lessons from Elite Dangerous. Bethesda have been watching Frontier and have been watching Elite, and it's got nothing to do with Starfield and everything to do with Fallout 76.
When it comes out, I'll judge it then. That's basically, that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not talking about the actual game, I'm talking about some of the things that they've done because they've looked at Elite. First, starting with their entire networking methodology, which is the same as Frontier. Yeah, the game is server-based, just like Elite is, but the connection between players is peer-to-peer. They've done exactly
there are
the same.
better games peer-to-peer wise. I can.
Yeah.
I played them, so yeah.
I'm aware, but yeah, I've again spoken to I've spoken to the people at Bethesda, and Bethesda have completely and openly talked about the fact that they've been watching Frontier and Elite, and they've taken a lot of those lessons of Fallout 76 to the point that they actually said to me that Elite Dangerous players will understand how Fallout 76 works innately better than anyone else, because the way that the different servers are going to work will basically be the same as our private groups.
Well, hopefully they don't fuck up with netcode as much as Frontier has, so
this is, well,
let's
again,
go with that.
This is where it could be interesting. You know, if Bethesda do create better netcode, Bethesda and Frontier have been talking. Yeah, if Bethesda come out with better netcode, Frontier can possibly learn from that, and that could benefit Elite. It's going to be strange, but I actually think that, whilst, don't get me wrong, Fallout 76 certainly doesn't provide Elite with competition. I'm not suggesting that. What I do think
it's far from it.
No, yeah. What I do think it does, however, is it does provide Frontier with something to learn from. There's very few games.
I mean, you're a fool if you don't learn from the whole history of gaming. Any of your peers or even
but I think there's going to be more from what I've heard. There's going to be more in you know, there'll be more linking Fallout 76 and Elite than there are any other game in Elite. Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. Again,
another interesting tidbit I picked up recently, just as a small little segue. Do you know that Frontier are now rated as the most valuable games developer in the United Kingdom?
Yamiks is meh about that. Again, I'm not a patriot of UK for whatever reason, you know.
No,
I don't know why, but there you go.
Yeah. I don't live there. I couldn't give a damn about like patriotism or anything like that. I just think it's quite interesting because there is a decent sized games industry within the UK.
I've heard there's a big indie scene in UK, but that's all I know. An indie scene.
No, there are some fairly major developers in the UK. So instantly, people are bringing up Rockstar. Rockstar aren't a public company. They're owned by another company, and so there is no valuation on Rockstar. We don't know what Rockstar are worth. Yeah. Whereas we know what Frontier are worth because they're publicly traded. Yes, Rockstar is undeniably worth more money than Frontier Developments, but it's a different thing. From the publicly traded companies, the ones that are actually owned by English hands, essentially. Frontier is by far and away the most valuable.
I think. Wait, was
and
it?
you know, the fact
Star
that
Citizen in
Tencent,
the UK somewhere too?
I believe they have a studio somewhere.
They have 5 fucking studios, 2 in the UK. And damn it, I need to rewatch Atlas's video about this whole fucking thing. But whatever, carry on. Oh yeah.
But
oh
yeah,
well.
The truth is that, I mean, and again, you know, looking at it from that side of things, Tencent invested in Frontier. Tencent don't invest in bad companies. Just that simple. Like, Tencent aren't the biggest games company in the world for no reason. They've done it very quietly. Most people don't even know who they are.
Wasn't there a whole fucking thing going on Reddit back in the day when they did that? I don't think it was very silent, to be honest.
Yeah, but you ask most people have no idea who Tencent are.
I still don't know. Again, I don't care about business that
Chinese,
much.
They're a Chinese company.
Right. I knew about Chinese, but the rest, nope, nothing.
As an example, they own League of Legends. They own Riot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kind of explains a few things.
This is not a small company by any stretch of the imagination, and they do not invest in bad companies. They have a huge stake in PUBG as well. Yes, you're quite right. Yeah, that's another very good indicator of you know, a lot of people. The reason I'm bringing a lot of this stuff up is because a lot of people quite often will suggest that Frontier are letting Elite die, or that they're not developing for Elite anymore, or that it's not a priority for them anymore, and all of that.
They basically put Elite on the fucking back burner for the last year and a half at least, I feel. I mean, fucking hell!
Okay,
look at all the announcements.
Can I be really blunt about this? I will be able to have a very, very interesting discussion with you once the next premium update comes out. Until then, I can't talk about it.
And we'll see about that.
Yeah, no, seriously, once that comes out, you and I can have a real interesting chat about that.
Of course. I mean, I do expect it.
I know, like, this is where the whole NDA thing becomes difficult.
And that's why you don't ever sign this garbage. What's the point? You don't gain anything.
I didn't do it to gain anything. I did it to be able to wander around their offices. It was really interesting.
Fair enough.
You know, but
no, it's fair. From my perspective as a content creator for videos and stuff, yeah, that would just hinder my ability to talk about things. So, yeah, no.
To be honest, all it means is that I try to avoid talking about certain subjects. There are a couple of subjects I try to stay away.
That's fair enough. Anyways, back to the topics, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right. There's actually a good topic that we didn't really go on about that much, and that was from the chats as well. Probably multiple people asked about this. Let's see. Oh right. Yeah. Free weekends. So here's my reasoning as to why yes. Now, first of all, Star Citizen has done it. That's kind of, you know, one reason. Oh, okay, no, not really. The one reason why should you go for a free weekend is a simple one. You open the doors, at least give that taster for people to just get their, you know, feet wet a little bit about the whole game, and you know, consider whether or not they are willing to buy. Because, well, for smaller games that might not really help them, because, well, there's not big of an influx of people in what it does. But realistically speaking, for, you know, elites, there would be, you know, me, every other content creator that would, you know, mention this stuff and invite others to try it. Because why not, right? For the weekend. So, yeah. Even if it's just for a weekend, even if it's just a little bit of flight training and all that stuff, it's still a potential to, you know, invite more either eyes onto the whole game, and then just invite more people to take a look and whatnot else, and of course perhaps get even them staying after the weekend. So yeah, considering that you know, when you try it for free, Okay, you like it, but it's still with a cost. Then you look at the cost and it's like, what, less than $10? Why not? So yeah.
Also, someone in your chat is saying about how they think that there's that Frontier are developing a sequel to Elite. They're not.
No.
I can state that categorically. I know full well they are not developing a sequel.
First of all, there would have to come the game's death first. Let's be honest about that, yeah. First of all, that would have to come first before they actually properly went for the next game, because we are pretty certain that there's still lore pieces that they want to put in the game, obviously, and they will be putting in the game. You don't need to be a sage to know that. So yeah, that's one thing. Only after that comes out and you don't hear anything about it, then you can start think about, you know, death as it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's at least my take on it, because I've seen games die. I've seen companies being fucking cunts. Iris. So yeah, I know the pain of my favorite, or one of my favorite games dying. Those that perhaps don't know what I'm talking about, Tribes Ascend, anyone?
Yep.
So there you go. Yeah.
So an interesting question that's come up into my chat, which is, if you did a free weekend, would you do it with just the base game, or would you let them try Horizons as well?
Okay, so letting the whole game go free to play. Honestly, why not?
If we're talking about a weekend, then yeah, I'd say let everyone have everything.
Oh, and for the weekend, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't personally do it with the whole game. If you were going to make the game free to play, just do it with the base game. Keep charging for.
The Horizons thing is, even if you give it for free for players to play for the free weekend in 2 or maybe even 4 days at best, yeah, grinding materials, have fun with that, really. Yeah.
No, because you can start on a planet. The Horizons adds a lot more than materials.
Oh, okay, yeah. The only thing that doesn't need grinding or any other sort of a thing is just the planet thing. Really, the only enjoyable immediately. So yeah.
Which is pretty neat.
It is, certainly. It is interesting. You can
start in a Sidewinder with an SRV. That's pretty neat. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, I think the something else that came up in my chat, and it's come up a couple of times, that I think is a good point, is that if you're going to do this, a better tutorial would probably be a good idea. I think Frontier missed a trick when they redid the tutorials recently.
No, they couldn't have. Could they?
No,
really?
I think they did, because one of the things that I think everyone agrees on is that one of the problems with Elite, one of its biggest strengths, but also conversely at the same time one of its biggest weakness, is that at the start of the game you get dumped in your Sidewinder and told to fuck off.
It's there's also the level of complexity. Even when you get some sort of indication as to what to do or where to do or how to do, you're still left with so much complexity that... Okay, it's not levels of EVE Online, sure. But EVE actually has a wonderful tutorial. I shit you not, I played through it. I liked it a lot.
Do you know what I would do if I were in charge of it? I would make the tutorial Pilots Federation training. And I would literally
that doesn't tell me much.
I would literally frame it as Pilots Federation training. The information provided in the tutorial is mostly good. There's a few other bits that I think need to be added. In particular, I think stuff to do with the mission system and that sort of thing. Fuel scooping needs to be included. Different star classes would be useful. You know, teaching people to route.
Not completely fail, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. Stuff like
the basic survival stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
Survival 101.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. But frame it all as Pilots Federation training. Yeah, and have it take place in a few different places throughout the Elite Galaxy. So you know, you start out and it's like, right, we're in Founders World. Yeah, we're at Shimrata Desra for the first bit. This is where the Pilots Federation are based. That's all you need to say. Yeah. And then Earth, this is the home of the Federation. Throwaway line about the Federation, little introduction to the two leaders from the Federation. Next one's on Akenar, next one's on Alior. Yeah. And all of a sudden, not only is the tutorial introducing people to gameplay concepts, but it's doing a little bit of world building. And don't get me wrong.
You're telling me there's an issue with world building in this game? No way! No!
Absolute. No, I don't think there's a problem with world building. I think that there's a problem with communicating that. Yeah?
But that's also the same fucking thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, no, because the world building has been done. There is an incredible... let's be honest. There is an exceptionally interesting world or universe or whatever you want to call it. When
splitting hairs in my case, but well, whatever. Okay, fine.
My point is that's again that's what I see as world building, whereas what we're talking about is communicating that information. Yeah, and communicating that information is terrible. It's just terrible. I will never argue against that. And providing some of that information inside of the tutorial, yeah, it's great. That makes so much sense. So a new player starts, yeah, and force the tutorial on them as well, please. Yeah, deadly serious about that. New player.
I didn't start with the tutorial. I turned out just fine. Look at my landings these days.
Yeah, but and Lord Wolf, sorry. But in all honesty, if you do that, not only does it first of all like massively improve the actual what the tutorial is supposed to accomplish, which is teach people the basic game mechanics. And as I said, particularly fuel scooping. Why is that not in there? That needs to be introduced, right?
Go figure it yourself. Even no. Read the manual. That's what developers expect us to do, right? Is this the case, really?
Yeah.
Because I think it is written about fuel scoping in the fucking manual. Just
so,
like the fucking lore piece about why you start in the fucking Sidewinder there.
Yep.
I shit you not. Yep. Go in your manuals right now on your game launchers. Open it and you'll see. I think it was page 17 or 15, something like that. There is a paragraph that tells you, lore-wise, why you spawn in the fucking Sidewinder. I shit you not. That's how sad it is.
Yep. That would be something that would be far better brought into the main game. And you know, explain it at the end of the tutorial.
Yeah.
It's a bit like how like one of the things that we were saying about was the idea of having you know, secondary objectives in missions. That's something that I would love to see, and have them coming from someone like the Dark Wheel, yeah, and use that again, as we were saying, to differentiate the player commanders from the normal commanders. It could be really you could do a lot more with that, but yeah. And Lord Wall, you're quite right. The balancing point is that you don't want to overload people with this shit. Not everyone cares. Not everyone is into the lore. Not everyone is interested in it in any way, shape, or form. But it still creates the
character and the feel of the universe rather than just you're plopped into the world. Go figure what it is.
Yeah.
It's not how you build a story in any case. If you have a story, if you choose to have a story, then work on it. Just like with a book. Yeah.
But we're getting completely off of subject.
At this point, yeah.
Typical, and someone in your chat was like, "I've never seen a stream where DJ doesn't bring up lore." I'm sorry.
I mean, it doesn't. It's not a stream where I don't swear, right, and all that stuff. I mean, we all have our own things. I mean, I beat the fucking dead horses constantly. I mean, I did. Let's see who. Let's see. I haven't. Oh wait, no, I did mention PlanetSide. Fucking hell, there you go.
You did. Yep.
So there you go. I mean, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I think that to be honest with you, like, let's be honest, we're all here because Frontier have created a decent game. There's no doubt about that. This is not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination.
At this point, it feels like just repeating myself, but yeah, we're here.
Right, we're all here because of that, right? Again,
the other day I was talking how fucking awesome the community is.
Yeah, right. And we're here because we care.
I mean, who else would actually call me a fucking white knight? Right. Thanks, forums, Dad. That's I love it. I love it. So,
that was one of my favourite moments ever. Also, I do want to actually do a little thing that's not properly in our schedule for tonight. But congratulations, Yamiks.
What?
47,000 people have hit the sub button on your channel.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, well, that, well, you brought it on, not me.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know I did. No, I wanted to bring it up. Congratulations, man, seriously. And
slowly but surely, I'm climbing to the tops of, I don't know, a shit pile. Yeah, there we go.
100k this year, I've told you.
Sure. Let's see. How much time do we have till the end of the year? 4 months.
We got 4 months. We got 4 months to get you 53k subs. We can do that.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Sure. I'd be gobsmacked, sure, but sure. We'll see.
Well, if not this year, then next.
Oh, and okay. As a courtesy piece, then I got to ask, when 10,000 on your end, huh? DJ, 10,000 followers.
We're very near. We're very near. Like, I'm like 150 away, something like that. 140,
there you go.
140 to go, so not far off at all. Not far away.
More unicorn onesies. That's what you need. Yes.
Oh God, no. Please no. Please no. So I'd like to bring up now pay to pretty.
Okay.
To get us back onto subject.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Well, this is where Yamiks and I disagree quite a lot.
I dislike microtransactions in general. I think that if you have microtransactions in a game, just like Jim fucking Sterling, and I say, why do you need the upfront cost for the game? Is it servers? Really? What? What the fuck are you talking about? That's the point. Now, of course, there are additional things, but anyways, for the sake of continuing the narrative, DJ can carry on. That's my stance. For those that don't know.
So, for me, as long as it stays pay to pretty, and let's be honest, we've had no indication that it won't. As long as it stays pay to pretty, and especially now the way the pricing is, I've got no problem with it whatsoever. And to be honest with you, I like spending the odd few quid in the Frontier store. I actually enjoy doing it. I like doing it, and I kind of feel that it's the right thing to do. I really appreciate the work that FDev put into this game, and I like supporting them. That is my choice, yeah? And I think that as long as it remains a choice, that's great. Now, that all comes with the caveat that the moment that they put an Anaconda, as an example, into the Frontier store, yeah, and you could go in there and buy an Anaconda, I will be, along with Yamiks, setting the world on fire.
This is basically when Elite Dangerous decides, oh, well, look, Star Citizen can sell ships. Yeah, oh, right. Wouldn't it be shame if we did that too?
Yeah.
So, yeah, essentially.
And yeah, the moment that they do that, then I have a problem with it. And Deckard Kane in your chats just said microtransactions beat subscription.
Okay, I take umbrage immediately about that statement. It basically goes around saying that, well, you need something as an upfront cost. No, you don't. You don't. The thing is, microtransactions, when it comes down to it, it's basically it's banking on whales just buying stuff. When you actually have, again, upfront cost, just one-time purchase for the game, and the whale transactions, essentially.
Hang on. No. I'm gonna jump in here and defend Frontier. Right? I know someone who is very definitely a whale as far as Frontier are concerned.
I think I know what you're talking about, but okay.
He does a lot of giveaways on his channel. Okay,
that's not what I think about. Okay, carry on.
Actually, I can say who it is, and I can talk about this because he talks about it as well. The gentleman in question is a streamer called JB is here, and he does loads of giveaways. When he gets stuff given to him, because he has a good real life job. What he does is he puts all of that back into his stream and does giveaways with it. So whenever he gets a donation, that funds more giveaways. Yeah. Whenever he gets bits, that funds more giveaways. And he, in a very short space of time, has spent well over $1,000 in the Frontier store on giveaway stuff. Yeah. Frontier have contacted him because they're worried.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Hold on, a company that has moral obligation to check on their whales?
Yep.
Stop. Hey, CIG, call CIG. Somebody call CIG right now, please. Somebody.
Right. So, like I said, I had to jump in to defend Frontier on this front, because I know someone who falls into that category, and seriously, he's been contacted by Frontier because they were worried.
I mean, holy fuck! I mean, I told that I love Frontier support, but this is fucking amazing.
That is, isn't it? It's another thing that shows that FDev are actually what they portray themselves to be. Yeah. Frontier don't need to rely on whales for their
they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Do you know why? Because the vast majority of us, genuinely, the vast majority of the audience spend money in that store. More people.
No, you genuinely spend on it, sure, but it doesn't change the fact that you spend a lot of money and they are mutually, of course, obviously, benefiting from it.
Oh, yeah, but they're not relying on one or two people spending obscene amounts. Yeah, it's the fact that all of us spend a decent amount.
If they didn't care about one or two people, you know, spending a lot of time, then why the prices are still quite that high? I mean, you'll go on the Frontier store and take a look at some of these cosmetics. Some of them are downright just lazy, and I'm even including the fucking ship kits right now, because they have been fucking lazy for the last half year, which is disgusting. But again, that's another topic as to why that is, of course. But the thing is, if you don't need, or rather, if you rather put in the microtransactions, you offer people to buy these little bits and pieces of your game for, well, that amount of money, that is $10 or more even, well, then, you know, I understand economy, sure, yeah, there is that economy thing and you must make money, but again, the idea that they don't need it is kind of false immediately there. I mean, yeah, if you like the game, spend on it, sure, yeah, go for it, which is fine, I do that too, but the thing is, I do support devs through microtransactions if I actually believe in the game and like it, and really, the last time I actually spent money on Frontier Store was a little while, actually, not a little while, but quite a while ago. It's been a year or so, or something like that, at least. But yeah, that was just me sort of rewarding devs for making models. But now that I see just garbage being pumped out, and not happening, buddy. Just bring out a new feature, like, I don't know, a next season pass or something stupid like that, and then we'll talk, I guess.
Yeah.
But
no, the fact that
still,
for me, the fact that Frontier are contacting people like that and going,
no, that's definitely a super positive thing.
Yep. And also the fact that, again, the fact that the pricing point on that store was wrong. Yeah.
Early on, if the prices are or was, as you said, that's ludicrous. Even right now, I'm okay, just go talk. I'll take a look at what you got.
Now I think they're right. Yeah, I'm okay with the prices now. Now here I'd like to talk a little bit about how you fund an MMO. Right? You essentially have three choices that have been tried, trusted, and tested. The three that you do are either a subscription model, a la World of Warcraft. You have the free-to-play model, a lot like Star Trek Online, or you have the Guild Wars model, which is what Elite Dangerous falls
One-time purchase. That is the typical. That is basically the premium game. You purchase it upfront, one-time cost, and that's it. You got the game.
That's it. Yeah.
Everything.
And then they release expansions to that game, which you then have to.
Expansion is DLC or again season pass is basically the same thing. Season pass is essentially pre-ordering the fucking DLC when it's being developed, which is a disgusting practice. Regardless. That's another topic for another time. But,
that's kind of a discussion of would you rather that they spend longer between releases and release a shed load of content at once and then have 2 years with no content, or would you rather they do it like they do where they try and release 3 or 4 updates a year? But like you say, that's a discussion.
If they are releasing multi-crew and the fucking broken engineers, then no.
Discussion for a different time.
Again, that's what it said.
It's the theory rather than the practice we're talking about here. Yeah. And the truth is, they are your 3 options. Now, when you're talking about those options, the only one where realistically you're not going to, where you don't need to put in some other revenue generator, is when you're charging a subscription. When you're going free to play, it's got to be built around those other revenue generators. Otherwise it just won't work. And then if you're like Elite and Guild Wars, you supplement the income that you get from selling the base game by putting in pay-to-pretty. And Guild Wars is another very good example of it. I even occasionally see it referred to as Fashion Wars these days.
Okay.
Because, people do care about what their character looks like in that game. They really do. Yeah, and they're happy to drop a bit of cash to make their character look unique. Cool. I think that what will be interesting is when Frontier, and this I will say will be a when, right? Let's be really honest about this. When we do eventually get the ability to move around inside our ships, when they start charging for new ship interiors. Things like that. Yeah?
I was predicting this way back when, but it
that's
still hasn't come true, fortunately. But well, I'm dreading the day when I actually see another fucking slightly recolored cockpit.
Oh no, you see, I don't think that they'll do slight recolors. I expect them to be actual.
They will do slight recolors. I mean, look at the fucking paint, paint jobs.
See.
Come on.
We can say what we expect. You expect that, I expect other, but let's see. Yeah. That's the sort of thing that they get to expand into with their microtransactions. It'll be very interesting to see what they do with that. Like, as an example, if they did do it where they just released like slight color changes, I don't think they'd sell money. Most people wouldn't be bothered. But if they did real, like, a different model for the inside of your chip, you could buy an Imperial pack,
my real only microtransactions have ever been for ship kits, because again, it does change the actual look in general of your ship, and I do support that.
I adore my pulse pack.
It's retarded. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
No, the thing is, I understand the appeal. I understand completely from marketing perspective as to why it's there. But from the in-game perspective, I did make a video again about the whole cosmetical bastardization of the game. That essentially, you keep just pushing on more and more eccentric things on the game, and by the end of that, by the end of the game's life, it looks nothing, or it's just basically so far gone with those cosmetics in general that you can barely understand what the fuck is happening, or what are they even supposed to be when it comes down to shapes, things and so on and so forth of the ships and other things as well. And doesn't it just feel kind of sad that the original idea that somebody had, creative idea that just, again, this is an artist sort of a argument that, you know, your work or a good piece of art is being basically just so far piled on that it just looks like just jumbled mess at best. So I think that's entirely realistic.
Do you not think that you know, look at custom cars, look at custom.
I know, yeah, but the thing is,
people do go mental.
I know, but that's
reality.
the thing.
Like, as an example, Yamiks, if you could get the Pulse paint pack for your, for you know, if people could buy that for their car, do you not think that'd sell?
Very few would
give me an honest answer.
Get that.
Do you think it would
There
sell?
are people that, of course,
Yeah.
Again, I said that I know why it's in the game. I know the thought process of a player.
Yes. Well, but no, but people, my point is, people would drive around in a car like that. Not everyone, but people would.
And people do.
Yeah. And so that's kind of where I see the skins fitting in, yeah? Why wouldn't we paint our spaceships with glowy blue, glowy purple lines on them? Why not, right? There's no... To be honest with you, there's no harm to it.
There is the harm. There is a harm, as a matter of fact. It's the original artistic idea's bastardization. Bastardization, there we go.
How so?
Again, you have somebody that makes the game, makes, you know, art for it, makes the design for it, visual design that is, you know, intends, you know, each ship to be, let's say, in a unique form and so on and so forth. Even though, as I said, I did buy the, you know, certain ship kits and whatnot else back in the day, and right now you can make a Vulture look like nothing like Vulture, and that to an extent is also ruining the look of the ship it was intended to be. So far that it might look just nothing like it and completely different, while originally it was intended to have that shape. And there is an importance of a shape in a game as well.
Yeah. I see
so
what you mean.
that's again the argument that I'm bringing forth is basically just the artist's perspective, sort of.
Well,
so yeah.
On that side of things, the argument would be, again, look at reality. You can get kits that alter what a car looks like. Yeah, look at what different people make Toyota Supras look like, as an example.
Supras are almost extinct these days.
Well, yeah, but you.
But I get your point. Yeah. Yes.
Right. The honest truth is that people do that shit in reality.
Oh, they do, definitely. There's a reason why people do that. I can explain
and
it.
It's certainly not. It's to put an element of personalization on their vehicle.
There is that psychological want and need for personalization, and of course having your own unique side. Well, there's, again, it's a psychological thing. You can watch YouTube. There's plenty of videos about that stuff, so you go and look at that. But whatever. Right. Actually, returning to your, or did you actually want to go for more?
Well, what I was going to say simply is that just to on that, because I hear some people complaining about, you know, what they do with the ship kits and the paint schemes, that they're too absurd. First things first, take the Type 9 cow skin that people have asked for forever. Yeah, they created one of them. They sold it for charity. Yeah, because they don't feel that fits with the tone of the game. Now, I actually disagree with that. I think that a cow skin for the Type 9 fits with the tone of the game perfectly. It fits perfectly.
I mean, okay, at this point, developers saying that it doesn't fit the tone of the game, I point everyone to the stupidest ship in the game, Type 10, and tell that's really a thing that fits in the game? Really? And carry on.
Also, let me fly. You're talking about shape in space. Does it matter? No, of course in space shape doesn't matter. aesthetics matter to human beings, and
for a
also,
game, shape
hang on.
matters a lot.
And also, I was about to say, aesthetics matter to human beings. Shape matters when you're talking about aerodynamics. And whilst we can't go onto planets, in lore, these ships can go and fly down onto planets. And finally, of course, as Yamiks has just said, it's a computer game. Of course, shape matters. People want their spaceships to look cool.
It's a good game designed to just have your items, icons, things, and well, characters. Again, anything be iconic, I guess, and easy to recognize. I mean, look at again, Team Fortress once more, right? The game is absolutely fabulous when it comes down to, well, not the hats and such, but the original game design. You can easily distinguish each character. Well, of course, it is important for FPS games and one can tells, but even for a spaceship game like this one, it creates that sense of, you know, uniqueness in the space, that, you know, the ships are actually easy to recognize rather than just having Toyota, I don't know, a Corolla XYZ, every single one of them. And that's why I also complained in my reviews that this ship looks extremely like the same previous ship, like Challenger, like Viper 4, like fucking Cobra 4. Those...
I don't mind iterative designs like that. Again, I find it quite realistic. I would like there to be a wider range of the base
I hate
designs,
it a lot
though.
from that just visual perspective. It's just nothing new. It's, again, we want something new, unique, flamboyant. It's a game. I know it's a realistic type, kind of
them
type.
Credit. They seem to be learning that, right? The latest
Type 10 is learning. No.
Oh, the Type 10 is awesome.
Challenger is
awesome.
okay. Challenger is that learning?
The Chieftain and the Challenger look great.
Chieftain is good. Challenger is boring.
Oh, I like the Challenger. I actually like that.
It's so similar. It's amazing. So whatever. Okay, whatever. It's just
I do like that.
Yeah, I suppose. Right. I guess returning to your previous the topic, I suppose you did mention 3 types of funding a multiplayer game.
An
that
MMO,
is,
yeah.
Yes, essentially MMO funding.
So,
that is, of course, a subscription.
Yeah, free to play.
You got your free, and of course the whole upfront one-time purchase, which is the premium style. Now, free-to-play inherently has microtransactions. So then, why do you mix the premium and the free-to-play mechanics, but design? That's always baffled me. You just want more money, and that's the thing.
Well,
you just
some of it does come down to the fact that you have to make money ongoing to pay for your costs.
Yes, but
that's true. You have to do that.
Well, yeah, okay,
and the truth is that selling the game, the base game, because of the way that that's going to work, you get that, you know, you release something, you get the spike, and then it drops down. Yeah, you're not going to make enough from that to meet your ongoing costs. Essentially, you're gambling on selling enough games to keep the game running. Yeah.
Okay,
and if you don't, the game just stops. Whereas by having the secondary income method of having cosmetics in the store,
it's just double dipping your fucking balls in the in your consumers' client's face. That's how I see it.
Practice.
It's not a good business practice. It's annoying business practice and way too much accepted these days for my taste. Now, the problem. Okay, so the way I see the whole how did Jim quote this? Whatever, just the premium game with microtransactions. So the premium, you know, upfront cost for the game is there just to guarantee that income.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, and microtransactions are optional on top of that. That's how you may see the thing, but okay. If you design it in the beginning, I suppose that fine, go with it. But the problem is, Elite came out as a premium game, and only after a while they introduced the whole cosmetic part, making it just a bit more disgusting to me, because you know that you're gonna be putting in microtransactions, and it has, especially right now, proven.
When did they add the store in? Because it's been there as long as I can
fuck,
remember.
I don't even remember.
Like, it's been there as long as I can remember.
The store was basically from which I bought the game, so the store was already.
Yeah, no, I mean, when did they put the skins in for the first time? Does anyone know roughly when that was? Because as far as I'm aware, like all I know is that I started playing in 1.2, and it was already in the game. You could already buy skins at that point. By 1.2.
Yeah, I definitely I started around August, I think it was on 2014, so yeah,
you were a few months after me, weren't you?
Yeah, definitely, so basically it was already in there, but in any case, the point is, Elite came out as a premium game, it was just a game, correct me again if I am wrong and what else, but it's annoying to see a company just willingly double dipping in your face. Just dip. Those balls are just... The taste of those balls have been just seeped in my mouth so much, it's amazing. Anyways.
See, now the funny thing is, I would have agreed with you back in the day. Before the price change, I would have agreed with you. The store was... the skins were ridiculous. When they changed their price point, and they made the price point realistic, yeah, it's great. Like, oh no, I have to pay £3 if I want my ship to look a bit prettier.
But right now, it's easily proven, or no. Of course we are speculating since we don't have exact data, but it's already proven with any even semi-successful games with microtransactions that microtransactions are a vast majority of the funding for the game, or rather bringing in the vast amount. So the same thing goes for Elite, no doubt, at this point.
Oh yeah, they're making more
so the
money
question is,
from the skins.
why, right? So yeah, why do you need that upfront cost? Because there's no So yeah, it all comes down to the fact
earlier, there's no competition.
There's no reason to go, right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
I mean, oh, and look at that, it's almost 2 hours already, so...
Yeah, I know.
Our last point, I think, and then I guess we're done, so that's kind of summing up the things just fine and dandy there.
I mean, like we said at the beginning, I genuinely think the idea of taking the base game free to play is a great idea. I think you get a lot more players, I think you get a lot more...
Imagine, Open would be filled with noobs to club! Imagine that, you crazy psychopath. How else people call griefers these days? I don't know.
It's hilarious.
There are so many fucking words. Just fill the chats with them if you want. But whatever. Anyways.
But
yeah.
But you get so many new people into the game, and like we said, I'm not naive enough, and I don't think anyone is naive enough to believe that most of those players would stick around. But the honest truth is, a good percentage would.
And of course, percentage of that percentage would be the ones that would actually spend money on the game. But even so, it's still more than you earned before. So yeah, your game is alive. A lot more people are talking about it. The only negative there is just that you're not getting the upfront cost. As if that's a big loss. Yeah, right.
But it's... you know, I think that that would do Frontier a world of good. It really would. And I think it would do us as a community a world of good as well.
Oh, Frontier community would become
bigger.
A lot bigger, yeah. Of course, there would be a lot more salt, but then again, considering that Reddit is a lot more interesting anyways, well, forums is just gonna change a little bit on the more toxic side, maybe. For like what, couple of months, that's about it. So yeah. I don't know. There's no loss for me, at least. I still love Reddit, so there you go.
Which Spaces just said free-to-play forums would be a bomb site. True story.
Oh yes, that would be just awesome. It'd be just lovely to see all the I'm being killed in open. Yeah. I mean, right. I feel their pain, but goddamn. Oh.
So, what about you? You see your summary.
My summary. why do you need that upfront cost still? I'm just gonna keep asking that question until I get a proper fucking answer and not a boilerplate.
They're a business. They're making money.
I know, but I want to hear that from the fucking developer mouths for once. So there you go.
I'll tell you what.
Ah.
I will make sure that is one of the questions I send over to Frontier when I'm doing the interview with Chad.
I think I asked you to ask that question.
Yeah, I will make sure that I send that one over.
Alright then.
I can't guarantee they'll answer it, but I can...
Yeah, it's just as good as me asking Will, Ed, or Bo, or... what was the fourth guy's name? Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go,
Is
yeah.
it Phil?
I think it is.
I haven't met him yet.
I haven't too! It's just... Or then again, I think he's on the Jurassic Park, right?
With him. I honestly don't. He's in the Triple Elite server.
Phil, if you're watching this, come on, come say hi. I'm not gonna bite, not at least yet. I mean, Phil and Ed can testify to that, so there you go.
Paul, that's it. Not Phil,
Paul.
Paul.
Fuck. Well, there you go. Well, at least now I'll try to remember it. In any case, but yeah, my summary there's, yeah, no, I already said that. Just I hate the upfront cost, or I hate microtransactions and upfront cost in the same space. Separate them, right? And I'll be sort of happy, right? That's about it. But there was one more topic for the end of the stream, I suppose. Thoughts on, well, okay, there are a lot of people saying, the base game shouldn't be going on, you know, free to play and whatnot else. What about then CQC?
To be honest, the cost of developing CQC to the point where it's worth doing that is too much.
No, just the way CQC is right now. Why not just leave it for free to play?
Because it's not good enough.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna be real honest there.
Yeah. I mean,
because it's not good enough.
Now that I think of it, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it is better than the fucking demo, sure. So
But
I guess that would be.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, yeah. Still, I mean, if you're not going for free to play on the main game, I guess. I mean, yeah, you can shove out the CQC. At least that will get the second wind somehow. I was really surprised to see back in the day when they actually put the CQC for purchase as well. I'm still baffled as to why they did it. I don't know. That's a separate thing, of course. So I don't know. Anyways, so there we go. Right. Well, I guess I don't know, DJ. If you have anything else, do let me know. But other than that, I'm pretty much out.
No, I think that it's actually been interesting.
Two of us, yes, that surprisingly managed. Yeah, we managed 2 hours, so there we go.
I wasn't expecting this to be a full 2 hours tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, I can always rant for this topic as well for that long.
Yeah,
so no problem.
We may have chosen the right subject, mightn't we?
Perhaps.
We've got something interesting happening next week, haven't we?
Who knows?
Well, that's the plan,
it was supposed to happen this stream, but well, there's scheduling. Let's just go with the word scheduling fucked up. So there we go.
Yep.
Anyways, for the outro, I suppose, today I've been joined by the one and only DJTruthsayer from the Twitch sides, those of you that don't know, fellow streamer, there we go, that's said the word, there we go. But fellow streamer on the Twitch side, and I don't know, the DJ, how would you describe me? Yes, there we go.
How would I describe Yamiks?
I don't know.
Yamiks is the most brutally and at times painfully honest person that you'll ever meet.
Yay! I'm a cunt! Right, so there we go. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the yet another installation of Creators Roundtable, and tune in next week at the same time, the same place, at least on my end.
Same bat time, same bat place.
No, I'm not copying that. You did that. No, that's... I'm not doing that. Internet cookie for those that know the reference to that one. Anyways, see you, I guess, for the next week, and enjoy your Fridays and weekends if you don't see us streaming tomorrow or day after that and what else. So yeah, thanks. I'll go. I'll be staying on for a couple of minutes for the my solo outro and what else. But that's about it on my end and yours end and the official thing. So thanks for joining, and
we'll see you soon.
Perfect ending.
Right. I'll see you soon, Yamiks. I'm going to jump into TeamSpeak. Feel free to join us if you want.
Maybe not. I'll see what I got working. Anyways, take care.
No worries.
And there we go, folks. That was yet another installation, as I said, of the Creators Roundtable. So once more, if you want to watch the previous installations, there should be a playlist on my channel named Creators Roundtable. I do try to add every single one of them as soon as I'm done recording and all that stuff, and yeah. Oh, right, I need to kind of enable them alerts for, you know, donations and stuff, otherwise I will forget for the next time. Anyways, when is the Frontier Expo this year? There's no guarantee that it will happen this year. When I talked with Paige in Frontier, not Frontier, but LaveCon this year in the UK, I got, well, she actually did mention that might not even happen this year. So, yeah, be kind of prepared for that. Regardless, well, there we, well, we got all sorts of things, I suppose, and right. Speaking of tips and other stuff, I don't see any. Okay, well, I guess today I'm going around just doing the stuff, and no thanks exactly are given specifically. So, well, in any case, guys, if you enjoyed, as I said, the streams and all that stuff, well, feel free to take a look at the playlist, and of course do subscribe if you haven't and all that stuff, or follow on the Twitch as well, and oh, right, and of course, do join the Discord. There's a link in the description for my personal Discord. We have plenty of people all over the place and so on and so forth, so that's kind of nice. Anyways, if you enjoyed the stream and all that stuff, of course, I am always grateful for tips and all that stuff. That helps, you know, keep the lights on and all that, and of course, if you want to support, of course, the content that I do and all that, monthly, there's always Patreon, and in the Discord you also get it. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed, I guess, I don't know how you can top the evening, but I wish you luck on that. So I'll be done, so this is basically just yet another episode. Enjoy it! Or you can rewatch it if you haven't seen it from the start. It was actually quite interesting. So, yeah. If you got any topics, right. If you got any topics, as a matter of fact, do... Ardriax, dude, as I was about to end. Oh, thank you. You generous soul. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Right. Where was I? Oh, right. If you have any topics and suggestions for the next Creators Roundtables as to what we could talk about or discuss and all that stuff, feel free to hit me up on either the Discord or Twitter. I'll be watching and looking at all the messages and what else. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And Echo Spark. Well, I try to keep each episode, again, very short and to the point, without any extra back end or ass end. So let's go with that. And yeah. But anyways, I'll be streaming tomorrow as I usually do, and I'll probably do some more of material gathering for engineering. So there you go. Anyways, guys, enjoy your Friday and enjoy the weekend if you... I just can't seem to stop the fucking thing. But anyways, Guero Marinero, dude, thank you so much. Always a good stream. And DJ Sun's Lore. Yes. Aww. And you got a squeak too. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. And as I said, see you tomorrow. Or see you next week for the same Creators Roundtable. Hopefully we'll have something interesting. Anyway, that's it.